Have you ever wondered why the men who have the least to offer are often the ones women can't stop chasing? You've been grinding for years. You hit the gym, built your business, bought the nice car, put yourself together the way society told you to. On paper, you're everything a woman is supposed to want. But when you're with them, something feels missing. They'll smile, they'll go on a date, but they don't burn for you. You're the one putting in the effort, while they stay distant. And then there's your friend. No fancy job, no nice car, no status. Yet women are obsessed with him. They chase him, they text him, they fight for his attention. And you're left thinking, what the hell does he have that I don't? That question eats at you, because you've been told your whole life that success is the ticket, that the more you achieve, the more women will want you. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about attraction isn't just wrong, it's upside down? What if I told you that the very things you're chasing, the money, the muscles, the polished image, are the very things suffocating women's desire for you? And what if the real secret had nothing to do with your resume, and everything to do with your internal state today? I'm going to pull back the curtain on the hidden psychology of attraction. I'm going to show you why women become addicted, obsessed with certain men, and completely indifferent to others who seem better in every measurable way. But I need to warn you, once you hear this, you can't unhear it. It's going to shatter the story you've been living by. It's not just dating advice, it's a complete shift in how you see yourself, women, and relationships. Let's start with the foundation of everything you've been led to believe. Society has been feeding you a script since the day you hit puberty. They've convinced you that attraction works like a checklist. Hit the gym, stack money, climb the ladder, learn game, collect achievements like trophies. And once you've checked all those boxes, once you've leveled up enough, the women are supposed to come running, like magic. But deep down, you already know that's not how it works. Because maybe you've followed that script. You've built yourself up on the outside. You've done the work. And yet, women don't see you the way you thought they would. And that gap, that painful gap between effort and reality, creates some of the most bitter, frustrated men on the planet. Men who keep pushing, thinking, maybe if I just make a little more money, maybe if I just get a little more shredded, maybe if I just master the right lines. But every time they achieve one goal, the emptiness remains. Women stay polite, but never passionate, curious, but never obsessed. And here's the brutal truth that most men can't accept. Women don't get addicted to your accomplishments. They don't fall in love with your resume. They don't fall in love with your bank account. They don't fall in love with your muscles, your titles, or your trophies. They fall in love with something much harder to measure. They fall in love with your energy, the way you carry yourself when no one's watching, the way you hold your ground when there's nothing to prove, the way you radiate certainty, not because of what you have, but because of who you are. That's what creates obsession. And here's the part most men never realize: the rarest, most intoxicating trait isn't money, abs, or status. It's not the things you've been chasing. It's something deeper, something internal, something that can't be bought, faked, or flexed. And once you understand this, you'll never see attraction the same way again. Now that you see it, that it's not the car, it's not the paycheck, it's not the list of achievements that makes her obsessed, we can dive into something deeper, something invisible, something most men never learn to touch. This is where we get into the hidden mechanism, the thing that sits underneath every case of female obsession. I call it sexual market value discrepancy. Here's how it works. Addiction begins when a woman perceives that a man's value is higher than her own. Not equal, not slightly above, significantly higher. But here's the twist, the part that flips the whole game upside down. Her perception of your value isn't measured in dollars or muscles or job titles. No, it's measured in energy, in presence, in the way you carry yourself when you walk into a room. Because value, real value, isn't objective. It's not a scoreboard you can tally. It's perception. And perception is always controlled by your internal state. Let me paint the picture for you. You're at a bar with 10 people, 4 guys, 6 women. One of the men is a multimillionaire. He's got the jet, the body, the designer clothes. He's everything society told you to become. Another man. He's broke. Old car. Basic clothes. No glamorous image to hide behind. And then, something happens. Someone in the group makes a comment. And this broke guy, he drops a response. Witty, effortless, perfectly timed. He's not trying. He's not performing. He's just rooted in who he is. And in that instant, before anyone realizes it, the energy in the room shifts. Every woman feels it. A spark of attraction that bypasses logic. Why? Because in that moment, his presence radiated more power than the millionaire's entire inventory. That's the secret right there. Sexual market value isn't about what you own. It's about what you emanate. It's not about inventory. It's about presence. And the man who understands this truth, he stops chasing. He stops performing. He stops begging for validation. Instead, he learns to cultivate the only thing that really matters, his internal state. And once you get this, you begin to see why women become addicted to men who, on paper, shouldn't even qualify. Because attraction has never been about the paper. It's about the perception. And the perception is shaped by one thing, your energy. Building on this understanding of how perception shapes everything, once you realize that sexual market value is built on perception, not possessions, it becomes clear why women respond so differently to different men. Because here's the hidden reality. Within seconds of meeting you, a woman has already placed you into one of 2 categories in her mind. Above me, below me. That's it. No middle ground, no maybe. And this judgment has nothing to do with resumes, bank accounts, or biceps. She's not running a calculation on your net worth or counting the hours you've spent in the gym. What she's doing, whether she realizes it or not, is reading your energy signature. She feels whether you're grounded or shaky, whether you're confident or approval-seeking, whether you're comfortable in your own skin or secretly begging to be validated. And that feeling, those split seconds of perception, decides everything. If she senses you're above her, something powerful ignites. Curiosity, desire, obsession. She leans in, she invests, she chases, because she wants to rise up to meet your value. But if she senses you're below her, it doesn't matter how impressive your credentials are. It doesn't matter what you drive, how much money you make, or how ripped you are. It's game over before it even starts. Here's the irony. Most men miss the harder you try to impress her, the more you signal you're below her. Every time you overcompensate, every time you perform, every time you put her on a pedestal, you reveal the truth you don't want her to see. That deep down, you don't believe in your own worth. And that's the kiss of death for attraction. But the man who doesn't need to prove anything, the man who is rooted in his own worth, who carries himself with ease, who doesn't flinch at silence or rejection, he gets placed instantly in the above-me category. And from there, her obsession begins. Because in her world, value isn't about who looks better on paper. It's about who feels untouchable in person. And when you radiate that energy, you become the drug she can't put down. So now that you understand how she places you, above or below, and that it's about energy, not logic, something else comes into play. Something that can push her from simple attraction into full-blown obsession. It's called pre-selection. Pre-selection is one of the strongest triggers of female desire. It's the perception that other women already want you, that you're in demand, that you're not just attractive in theory, you're attractive in practice. And here's the mistake most men make: they try to fake it. They flirt with other women right in front of her. They brag about their exes or drop hints about how many girls have been into them. They exaggerate. They perform. They posture. And every single time, it backfires. Why? Because women have evolved to sense authenticity on a subconscious level. They don't just hear your words. They feel your energy. And fake pre-selection doesn't come across as confidence. It comes across as insecurity. It screams, "I'm trying to prove I'm desirable because deep down, I don't believe I am." But real pre-selection, that's different. Real pre-selection is quiet. It's subtle. It's not something you brag about. It's something that radiates off you. It's the calm confidence of a man who knows he has options, but isn't desperate to show it. It's the way you move, the way you speak, the way you sit back in your own skin as if the world already recognizes your worth. That's the energy women pick up on. And when she senses that other women are drawn to you, even if it's never spoken out loud, something shifts inside her. Curiosity turns into competition. She starts asking herself, what do they see in him? Why are other women so drawn to him? What's going on here that I can't see? And that curiosity, that hunger to know what makes you special, that's the very first stage of addiction. Because the moment she feels she's not the only one who wants you, you stop being just a man in front of her. You become the prize. And nothing pulls a woman in deeper than the fear of losing a prize other women already did see. Now, let's take this even deeper. You've seen how women sense value. You've seen how pre-selection can light the fire of obsession. But underneath it all, there's a bigger divide. A divide that separates men who get polite attention from men who create obsession. It's the difference between external value and internal value. Most men spend their entire lives chasing external value. Money, status, achievements, looks. They think if they can just pile up enough of these things, they'll finally feel attractive. They'll finally feel worthy. But here's the problem. External value is fragile. It can be taken from you in a heartbeat. You can lose money. You can lose status. Your body can change. Your achievements can fade. And if your confidence depends on those things, your attraction power will always be unstable, always conditional, always hanging by a thread. Women can feel that instability. They sense when a man's confidence is built on shaky ground. And deep down, they know if life can take it away, then she can take it away too. That's not attractive. That's not obsession material. Now compare that to the man who flips the script. The man whose value comes from within. The man who doesn't just collect validation, he creates it. The man who is self-validated. He doesn't need compliments to feel good. He doesn't fall apart when someone criticizes him. He's steady, centered, at peace with himself. And that kind of presence, it's intoxicating. It's rare. It's magnetic. Because most people, men and women, are walking through life like open wounds, desperate for someone else to tell them they're enough. So when she meets a man who doesn't need anything from her, who is whole, who is grounded, who is already complete, she feels something she can't even explain. That's when addiction begins. Not because of what you have, but because of who you are. And here's the part that hits hardest once you build internal value. No one can take it from you. It's not tied to your car, your bank account, or your job title. It's tied to your state of being. And when a man radiates that kind of internal certainty, he stops being just another option. He becomes the man she can't forget. But this brings us to one of the most dangerous traps a man can fall into. It doesn't matter how much money you make, how good you look, or how successful you are. If your sense of worth still depends on her words, her approval, her attention, you've already lost. This is what I call the validation death spiral. Nothing kills attraction faster than neediness. Nothing. The moment you start relying on her texts to feel good about yourself, the moment her compliments become your oxygen, the moment her attention decides whether you feel confident or worthless, you've handed over all your power. You've made her the gatekeeper of your self-worth. And women sense this instantly. They may not say it out loud, but they feel it deep in their nervous system. And here's the thing, you can't hide it. No clever line, no flex, no fake confidence can cover it up. She knows, Nas. She knows when you're chasing her attention because you can't validate yourself. And when she feels that she might play along for a while, she might even enjoy the control it gives her. But she will never, ever become addicted to a man begging for scraps of approval. Because neediness doesn't inspire desire, it suffocates it. Now here's the paradox. The man who doesn't need her validation, the man who can enjoy her company but isn't clinging to it, the man who can take her attention or leave it, that's the man who creates a magnetic pull. Why? Because when you don't need something, people offer it to you freely. When you're not desperate for her texts, she wants to text you more. When you're not begging for her attention, she fights to give it to you. When you don't make her your source of validation, she starts craving your validation. That's the shift. That's the power. And that's why breaking free from the validation death spiral is the line between men who repel desire and men who make women addicted without even trying. So once you break free from the trap of chasing validation, something powerful happens. You stop living for her approval. You stop worrying about whether she's pulling away or leaning in, and for the first time, you actually show up. This is where one of the most underrated, overlooked traits comes into play: presence. See, most men aren't really present, not with women, not even with themselves. Their minds are trapped in the past, rehashing failures, replaying regrets, obsessing over what went wrong before, or they're racing into the future, strategizing the next move, calculating outcomes, stressing over what-ifs. They're never truly here, never fully grounded in the moment. And women feel that. They feel when your mind is somewhere else. They feel when you're talking to them, but you're really talking to your own insecurities. But the rare man who is fully present, that man creates a magnetic field no woman can resist. The man who is calm, who listens, who is unbothered by silence, who isn't busy performing or plotting his next line, but is simply here, in this moment, with her. That energy is rare, and it's intoxicating, because when you're present, something shifts for her. She feels seen, not just looked at, but truly seen. She feels heard, not just listened to, but understood. She feels safe, because your calm energy grounds her own. And she feels valued, not for what she gives you, but simply for existing in that moment with you. And that's when real obsession begins. Because women don't get addicted to the man who tries the hardest. They get addicted to the man who can silence the noise of the world just by being there. That's the power of presence. It's not about doing more. It's about being more. And when you embody it, she won't just want to be with you. She'll feel like she can't live without you. And this brings us to the core, the foundation beneath all of it. You've seen how presence draws her in. You've seen how validation traps you. You've seen how value isn't about possessions, but about perception. But underneath every layer, there's one truth that holds it all together. The ultimate secret is this: women get addicted to men who are whole within themselves. Not men who need fixing. Not men who are looking for someone to complete them. Not men who use achievements as bandages to cover their wounds. Addiction happens when she meets a man who is already complete. When you're truly at peace with yourself, comfortable with who you are, where you are, and what you have, you stop needing validation. You stop seeking completion in women. You stop making them the source of your worth. And here's the paradox: that's exactly when they become addicted to you. Because when you no longer need her to fill a void, she feels the rarest energy in the modern world, the energy of a man who is free. Free from desperation, free from neediness, free from the constant hunger to be validated. And freedom is magnetic. Think about it. Most people today are trapped in comparison, trapped in insecurity, trapped in the endless chase to prove they're enough. So when a woman meets a man who is broken free from all that noise, who is centered, grounded, whole, he doesn't just stand out. He feels like an entirely different category of human being. She doesn't just want him. She becomes drawn to him, like gravity. And this is the heart of it all. The men who create female obsession aren't the loudest, the flashiest, or the richest. They're the ones who radiate internal peace, the ones who don't need to take anything, because they already are everything. That's what makes her addicted. That's what makes her chase. And that's what makes you untouchable. So here's the question. How do you become that man? The man who's whole within himself. The man who radiates presence. The man women can't stop thinking about. Not because he's trying, but because he doesn't need to try. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes work, real work, the kind of work most men avoid, because it's not glamorous. It doesn't give you quick hits of validation. It's deeper than that. If you want to embody this, here's the path. First, audit your motives. Get brutally honest with yourself. Look at why you're chasing the goals you're chasing. Are you working out because you love your body, or because you think abs will finally make you worthy? Are you making money because it fuels your vision, or because you think women will only respect you if you hit a certain number? Stop chasing approval. Start pursuing what's real for you. The second step is to build internal validation. Learn to affirm your own worth. Learn to affirm. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you you're enough. Compliments. They become a bonus, not a lifeline. Criticism. It stings, but it doesn't break you. Your value becomes non-negotiable. Third, practice presence. Put away your phone. Stop rehearsing lines in your head. Stop plotting outcomes. Just be here. When you're with her, be with her. When you're alone, be with yourself. This simple shift will change the way people experience you. The fourth principle is to develop stoicism. Life will test you. She will test you. The world will test you. Your power is in staying grounded no matter what. Not cold, not emotionless, just steady. The rock in the storm. That's the foundation of masculine strength. Finally, seek inner peace. Do the inner work. Heal your wounds. Accept yourself as you are. Right now. Learn to live from love, not from lack. Improvement still matters, but when it comes from peace instead of insecurity, everything changes. Do this and watch what happens. You'll notice women responding differently, but not just women. Friends, colleagues, even strangers. People will lean in. They'll listen closer. They'll feel something they can't quite name, but they'll know they want to be around it. Because these traits, authenticity, presence, stoicism, inner peace, they're not just attractive. They're universally magnetic. That's the transformation path. Not tricks, not tactics, not games. Real work, real change, real freedom. Now, before we finish, I need to leave you with something important. This knowledge, what you've just heard, is powerful. And like anything powerful, it can be dangerous in the wrong hands. Don't twist it. Don't use it to manipulate. Don't weaponize it against women. Because the goal here isn't to trick women into obsession. The goal is not to turn relationships into a game where you hold the upper hand. That's not sovereignty. That's still slavery, just dressed up differently. The goal is transformation. To become the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, but who commands respect from everyone, including himself. Because when you reach the point where you no longer need anyone's validation, when you live authentically, unapologetically, powerfully, that's when everything shifts. Women won't just be attracted, they'll be addicted. But here's the paradox, the one most men never see. The less you need her, the more she'll crave you. The freer you are, the tighter she'll hold on. The less you chase, the more she'll pursue. The more complete you are within yourself, the more irresistible you become to others. And that's the choice every man faces. One path keeps you begging for scraps of approval. The other makes you the source of your own power. The choice is yours. Thank you for watching. If this message hit you, don't just scroll away. Subscribe. Dive deeper into our content and start building the mindset that puts you back in control. Because dating isn't about chasing women, it's about holding the frame, living with clarity, and letting attraction come to you. Drop a comment below. What's the biggest struggle you want us to break down next? Let's build a brotherhood of men who rise above confusion and reclaim their power. See you in the next video.